For more Liquid Lunch, head over to YouTube, do a search for Liquid Lunch TV, and hit that subscribe button.
Hey, welcome back. It's Thirsty Thursday edition of Liquid Lunch. We got two of my favorite contestants on today, combatants, I should say. John Burnett, Managing Director of One Empire Group, and David Eisenbach, a professor at Columbia University and our own presidential historian. And we talk about the presidential debates some more, guys. Before we get into that, I want to remind you, if you want to donate to Joe Biden, you go to www.joe90210.com. Oh, no, that's not it. Guys, Joe Biden forgot his own text line, right? It was text Joe to 33003 or something, right? And he gaffed the whole thing.
He should have eaten an energy bar before.
He should have dipped into the energy bars without knowing the flavor.
Sleepy Joe.
Exactly. So, guys, there was a lot. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. It was like great stuff to fool around with. But there was a really good exchange with Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard. Let's take a look at this.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
So Tulsi laid it on her right there. And I mean, you know, she said joked around about it, but that was another lie they didn't even get into. Kamala Harris was joking around on a radio show that she smoked weed and while she was listening to Tupac or Snoop Dogg, and they hadn't even been artists yet. So
right.
She's all bunched up in this one. But she threw a lot of African Americans in jail and then kind of joked about it. I think Tulsi made some serious points right there.
Absolutely. She indicted Senator Harris. And, you know, when you actually poll the black community, that's one of their reservations about Senator Harris, that usually the black community like black lawyers who are defense attorneys, not prosecutors. Why? Because the black community generally thinks that they have an unfair, position when it comes to law enforcement. So what the Congresswoman was doing to Senator Harris was pointing out the fact that, you know what, you're a prosecutor and you actually took the Three Strikes You're Out, the '94 crime bill, and buried a lot of black Americans, then made fun of smoking marijuana when you actually convicted a lot of people statewide. And let's not forget, her father also came out against her.
That's right.
For coming out saying that she smoked marijuana and laughing about it.
Eisenbach's ready to pounce.
Well, Kamala Harris was the star of the night. And she did it by criticizing both Democrats and Republicans for signing on to things like the war on drugs, the war on marijuana, the wars for regime change. Kamala Harris is a star, and she speaks to the truth, and people understand.
So wait, she was attacking both sides.
Both sides.
You know, the war on drugs and all stuff. But then when she was a prosecutor, she went right in there and prosecuted people.
I meant Tulsi Gabbard.
That's what I thought.
Was the star. I meant Tulsi Gabbard was the star.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And she really kind of showed that she's got the stuff to take on the big players in this debate.
And she did it very smoothly.
Yes.
The delivery was perfect. You can follow along with her logical steps. And when you look at the tape, Senator Harris looked perplexed.
Yeah.
And her rebuttal was extremely weak. She offered no details as far as what she actually did as a prosecutor, state prosecutor, that actually lifted people up.
So we also have a clip here. I kind of like the guy. I'm not for any of these Democrats. I want to see Trump get another term. But this guy Yang is doing his own way. And he's like right on the edge of making the next debate. And this guy doesn't even think he should wear a tie. Let's take a look at Andrew Yang.
We need to do the opposite of much of what we're doing right now, and the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes masks.
He's got a pretty good sense of humor, that's for sure. I guess he's suggesting that, you know, the opposite of Donald Trump is a guy who does math. So that means Donald Trump doesn't do math. What do you think about this guy Yang? He's right on the cusp.
You know, the jury's still out on him. You know, he might come up with a few zingers here or there, but I don't think that he's raising enough money to get his message out. I think CNN did a town hall with him. I think for the most part, when I checked my Facebook feed, people liked it, but they just don't know enough of Yang.
Dave, is it good to have guys like that to say, hey, the party's becoming a little more inclusive, like a businessman with no tie could be taken seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, guys like us who have run campaigns to try to be the outsider, the unexpected candidate, I kind of, if I'm rooting for anyone on that side, I'm rooting for him like just as the underdog guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the DNC learned the lesson from the last time. They wanted to make it as democratic as possible, but they also put up these rules that are going to really narrow the field going into the fall, so that you got the taste of democracy, but when it comes down to the real show in the fall and winter, it's going to be narrowed down by the DNC.
So last but not least, we all have one thing in common. I will ring the bell right now because we all believe Mayor de Blasio should be removed from office. And de Blasio was like, he was like another commentator. Like he kept chiming in from the side. But take a look at this de Blasio and Biden clip.
Did he use his power to stop those deportations? He went right around the question. Mr. Vice President, you want to be president of the United States. You need to be able to answer the tough questions. I guarantee you, if you're debating Donald Trump, he's not going to let you off the hook.
Final minute, guys. Your thoughts on de Blasio?
I would just, you know, I wish Joe Biden would come back at him and say, you are the pay-to-play corruption mayor. You have overseen record homelessness, record displacement, and big real estate giveaways. That's what I would have said.
Johnny?
He should have said, you know what, all New Yorkers need to fill up their buckets and pour it on you, because you know what, you did absolutely nothing for New Yorkers but make their life more expensive, more miserable. Even the NYPD, a lot of city workers, they just don't like you.
And the worst small business crisis in the history of the city of New York.
And homelessness.
Oh, homeless is the worst.
In fact, I mean, Trump would have a field day indicting socialism.
Don't worry about that, folks. De Blasio's not going to be our president. Joe Biden should have just asked him, what happened to the $800 million you gave to your wife for the mental health programs? And that would probably shut up de Blasio right there. John Burnett, David Eisenbach here for us. Whenever we ask, always lighten it up. You stay right there. We'll be back right after this.